Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. A few days ago, somebody asked me a really good question that, as I started answering it, I started with one answer, but then it led into a completely different answer that I thought would be a really good thing to share here with all of you. And that is, somebody asked me, what do I think is the biggest challenge that I see causing, or a biggest obstacle challenge that I see people being confronted with when it comes to transition, gender transition, whatever that may be for you. And that may be the whole thing of surgical procedures and medical procedures, or there just could be a few. And at first, I answered that question by saying that the most difficult challenge that, in my experience, I think people are facing when it comes to transition is finances. That it really comes down to money, because when people have access to resources and access to especially financial resources, they have better opportunity to undergo surgeries. They have better opportunity to be able to have mental health access. In other words, they have better accessibility to a lot of things. And as I started talking about this, I realized that that's not necessarily true. And although part of it is absolutely true, what's really not true about this is that I equally see a lot of people who don't have access to financial resources transition and moving on and living their lives and having what we would call successful transition, meaning they were able to achieve the congruence they were looking for, and they feel great and confident about themselves. So I see that also all the time, and that got me to pause and to think about it. And I realized that the biggest challenge and the biggest obstacle that people face is not necessarily money or lack of money, although that is, again, absolutely is a challenge. But the biggest challenge, I would say, or an obstacle for people undergoing transition, that is lack of adaptability, lack of being resourceful. Not so much access to resources, but your own capacity to be resourceful within yourself. What I mean by that is, and I want to go back again to people who don't have access to money, I see people who are so resourceful in finding mental health services they need for either very low cost or something where their insurance plan will cover. I see people also finding a lot of other support services that are presented to be free in the community. Now, one of the things, of course, about adaptability and your own inner resourcefulness is that money sometimes can serve as an accelerator. It can accelerate things, right? Because it can make things quicker, time-wise. But if we don't have money, it doesn't mean that transition has to come to a stop. What it means is that sometimes things will take a little bit longer, which I also think is a good thing, because if it's going to take a little bit longer, that means that there's going to be more time to integrate internally. Integrate internally is a process that you're going through. If you have access to all the money in the world and you do it really fast, that sometimes can have a negative effect of not really having enough time to integrate the process, and as a result, you'll be integrating it later. So as you can see, both has pros and cons. But all in all, it will take just a little bit slower, but it's still completely doable. I've seen people reach out and have an incredible access to resource, being able to be very resourceful. I've seen people who will knock on one door, and because it's closed, they will go ahead and knock on another door, and that will open up something else. People have contacted me to access to resources. People have found out that I do free evaluation letters for all the gender-related procedures for California and Florida residents, and somehow they were able to find me and get those letters really quickly versus waiting for somebody to evaluate them for 6 months. So the resources are out there. I think it's all about our adaptability to challenges, whether we're able to and have the inner resilience. And I actually honestly genuinely believe that all of us have internal resilience. I think we're just not really in touch with it, to be able to confront whatever it is that's coming our way. But I've seen some people who don't have access to any financial resources do way better and progress way quicker than some people who do have access to financial resources, because sometimes you can just run into kind of your own obstacles as a result of that. So the biggest challenge, if you're watching this and you're thinking about transitioning and you're terrified, you're afraid of all the obstacles and challenges, and you think, oh, I don't have money to transition, I can't afford it, it's going to cost too much, so I'd rather not do it. No, money is not the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is, how resourceful are you? How adaptable are you? Are you able to take a little bit extra work and to search and to look and probe and to ask around who is the best doctor, which insurance covers which surgery, how can you get on a particular plan, how can you get particular insurance, which services are out there for free, even if they're in a different state, can you get a free service in a different state? If you're able to do all of those things, if you're able to pour in some work into it, it's going to pay back. It always does. If you are going to knock on the first door and find it closed, and you're going to turn around and you're going to say that, I'm done, I'm not going to undergo transition, then it's going to be really challenging. It's going to be hard, because if we don't do the work, nobody will do the work for us. So think about it. If you find yourself in this camp of wanting to start, or you're going through transition right now and you're really challenging and you're really struggling, tap into your own resourcefulness. You are incredibly resourceful. You really are, especially today with access to internet. We can find out anything. We can find out, especially with YouTube, my God, we can get free, you name it, makeup tutorial on YouTube, how to talk tutorial on YouTube, how to work on your voice to feminize or masculinize it on YouTube. There's so many free resources out there, and they're all there for you. It requires a little bit of work. Sometimes looking for quick fixes and shortcuts is also not the ultimate way to go. So that's the answer that I want to share with all of you. Biggest challenge and biggest obstacles that I see people struggle with when it comes to transition is whether they're resourceful or willing to be resourceful, and whether they can adapt to any situation pretty well. And if you don't think you have it, I guarantee you do. You're born with it. You're born with incredible reservoir of resourcefulness within you. You just have to tap into it, but it's in you. You got this, and you can make it. So I wish you all best of luck. Comment below. Let me know what you think is the biggest challenge for you has been in transition, or starting transition, or ongoing transition. And I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So share below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.